You know, we've talked before about towns trying to get the water. You talked about drilling a well down in Loveland and hitting oil instead of water.
Yeah.
And in Fort Collins, you know, water was always a problem in the early days, and the people that settled here, they'd have to go and either go down the river and scoop up their own water, or they could pay for it. There was a couple of water wagons that rode around town, and for 5 cents you could buy a bucket of water, or for 25 cents a barrel of water. You know, fires in those early wooden buildings and things were very hard to fight.
Yeah, no, this all came to a head with Frank Stover's two-story building. It was a drugstore, and Frank Stover was a very well-known merchant. In 1882, that thing caught on fire, and I guess that scared the bejeebers out of everybody into doing something about a water supply system.
Well, can you imagine, you know, a bucket brigade trying to throw buckets of water up, you know, 2 stories to fight a fire? And there was another building next door that was called the Robertson Block, and it was also just recently finished in 1882, and I mean, they fought very hard. Fortunately, a third building had a cistern in the basement, and they were able to pump. There were some pumps where they could actually pump water into a hose and keep the fire from spreading any further.
Yeah, and so the town voted for a water system. It was only a year later. That's what I found interesting. Only a year went by, and they awarded a contract to a Colorado Springs company to come in and build a pump house near LaPorte, right? And this was
Yes.
along Overland Trail, right?
Yeah, this was a company out of Colorado Springs got the contract. Russell and Alexander, and they came in and they built the pump house, and they laid the water line in
There's
the
a
town.
wrought iron pipe down to the city, right?
Yes, big wrought iron pipes, and so then people could pay to get attached to the water system, and once you were attached, you could have sinks in the house, you could have bathrooms in the house. You know, no more walking out to the privy or having the little thunder mug under the bed.
So that came into being around 1883, around
right,
that
1883, area? And when the system was finished in the mid-1883, they had put in the fire hydrants, and down at Linden and Jefferson, they attached 3 hoses to a fire hydrant, and they had in those days had to telegraph the signal out to the engineer out at the waterworks way out on Overland Trail by LaPorte, and they said, you know, give us the pressure, and they shot 3 streams of water over 100 feet in the air. So now you had this nice system of fighting fires.
Now those old waterworks are still standing, right?
Right, and we're hoping to restore it and turn it into an interpretive center for water and irrigation and so on.
But it's open to the public on occasion, right?
Right, usually the first Saturday of the month, from starting in May and running into October. So yeah, and it's owned by the city of Fort Collins.
Yeah, that's nice that was preserved.
Right.
Really nice.
A nice group of volunteers working on it.